And welcome back to Jenna Jane's yard. I believe today is June 25th, 2025. So June 25th, 25. We had a couple of good rain days here. So everything's all nice and green now. So let's take a look to see how this yard looks. Haven't been able to do too much. I'm actually disabled right now. I broke an ankle back in May. I think I did a video right after I broke my ankle. I think I did. But we're all nice and green here. So let's take a look here. Busy morning here. Wow. Let's see what we can get going here. Can you see anything? Let's take a look. Take the camera off. These are lilies of the valleys. And one baby pine is just stuck in there right now. You can barely see them. I can barely see them on the camera. There's one right there in front of me. There's another one. So I'm saying that they guesstimated they grew about maybe 4 inches. These are actually, these are about 13 months here. Yeah, they've been growing here for 13 months now. I started planting in April, May of last year. Okay, we'll come up and do the other half of the front here in a few minutes. We're also going to feed the birds this morning. And tamala is following us around. Somebody wants to play. Where are you going? Coming into the woods now. Let me drop off some bird seed. We're supposed to get more rain around noonish, I believe. A little extra dose of sunflower seeds. Okay, now we're going in. Tamala's waiting for me. Kind of weird. And there's tamala now. And right over here I got a little sprinkler set up to water this, because this is actually the high ground. So this being the high ground, I got a little sprinkler set up here to get these guys extra water, and the rest of the water actually drains down. And not only do I take care of the trees, but if you notice, we will see a couple robins and a couple of chickadees and juncos actually cruising by. They like hopping in the shower, but I ain't got the water set up yet. Okay, we're going to follow tamala some more. We discovered wild catnip over here last fall, and this is where tamala always likes hiding out. He's scoping things out. And he's not moving very fast. I don't know if he wants to be on camera today. Take a look at these guys here though. Let's see if I can just spin this around. Two of them were already about 6 feet tall when I transplanted them. Now 3 of them just miraculously caught up to them. Now you can barely tell them out. Now there's 5 of them about 6 feet tall. So they actually sprouted up really fast this spring. And actually now summer. Alright, and right there straight ahead is the pear tree. Well, not really, that's a jack pine, but just to the right of it is a pear tree. And right there is right where the deer lay. They come in at night and lay down there. Okay, now we're coming up. Here's the pear tree. And now we're what me and Janet called the outhouse area, because back in the 60s there was an outhouse back here. And I finally dug it out after a tree collapsed on it. And I cleaned up the path here. You know what just happened here? Somebody's digging something up. Looks like we had a deer here last night. Yeah, me and Tom like coming out here and we look for footprints. Uh-oh. Some tree got heavy. How did that happen? Looks like a cherry tree. Grass is growing pretty good here on the path, that's for darn sure. Now we're in the back corner. We're coming in on the other side of the house. When I made that last corner, I did it with a small small lawnmower tractor. Now that's getting a little too tight over there. Deer water is good. Back up. I'm still crippled, so I feed the deer without getting off the gator. Extra dose of sunflower seeds. You get mixed emotions about blue jays, but I like the blue jays. They're normally my early warning sign for a storm coming. Right about now I really don't see any, so something's probably about to come, and the forecast says we're going to get rain about noon today. So now we just came, did a half circle, went through the back. Here, before I show you that, I'll show you the original. That is the original bird pavilion, and according to Jane, that was here when she moved in, so this thing is probably built in the 1960s somewhere in that era. And me being handicapped and digging it out and gonna fix it, I kind of like found out where the rotten pieces were, so I gotta remodel that, and right now I can't stand up properly and balanced it in a hole, but I could probably start working on that. But in the meantime, I sat down and I built this. It took about 3 days for the blue jays to actually start hanging out in there, and they started hanging out about maybe 2-3 days ago. And of course, there's the main pavilion. With a cat condo and a cat penthouse. Well, it's not really a cat penthouse anymore, but sometimes a stray raccoon comes in. It's okay, we know the raccoon. Okay, now we're going to come up on the other side. Driveway. And now we're going to come up by the, what I call the toilets. These two skinny ones right there in the center. And there's a good oak tree growing there, probably about 4 or 5 years old. And it's really growing good. I call those two my freaks. And now they're starting to straighten out, but they're actually growing way too good. They're starting to lean again, so they're going back to my freaks. Okay. I'll leave the camera on a slight angle here. And these I planted during COVID. And they were like maybe 2 feet tall when I planted them. And now we're looking at 6, 7 feet. Maybe 8 even on a couple. And these guys right here. These are also about 5 years old. Look at them. They're looking about 8, 9 feet already. I guess I won't be able to fit them on camera pretty soon. Neighbors think I'm weird again. Okay, now we're going to go back where we started. Now that you see all the ones that have been growing. Like I said, these are all lilies of the valley in here that naturally grow. I don't know who planted them. They've always been here. There's two right here that have been planted last year, 13, 14 months ago. And yeah, they got a good 4-inch growth easily on them. All right. That concludes the trees and the bird feeding. And this is June 25th, 2025. And for the technical geeks out there, I am actually using the MKE 600s. Sound devices mix pre and into the UCA 202 by Behringer, another USB interface, and it brings me up into my OnePlus 12 phone. All right, and that concludes Jenna Jane's Yard, June 25th, 2025. You guys have a good day. We'll catch you later. Oh, maybe I should tell you this first. Let's see. Okay, we know the one raccoon, he's been actually culled. The other groups of raccoons don't care for him. So he's been coming here, and he comes like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So he can beat the other herd here and get his food, because they always chase him away. And in the last month, we inherited 2 foxes. And lately I've only been seeing one fox, so I'm assuming the other one is a female and probably taking care of her babies. We're looking at probably about 4-5 years now with Tamala. Her first winter in the house with us, and he's still an outdoor cat, but his daughter is here. She also got culled from the mom family, and we call her Baby D, and she just hangs out by the window around feeding time, and she hangs out in the boat port. So this is where pretty much where Baby D hangs out. So we got new critters, and seems like all the misfits come here. The parents dropped off. I don't know where Tamala came from, but Baby D, like I got her on video playing with the mom and grabbing the mom's tail, and the mom says, "Okay, fine, we're leaving. You're staying here." So we inherited Baby D from the mom, which we have not seen since January, and that I thought was pretty weird too because she was well fed. So Tamala and Baby D are the only two cats that we have. And plus Queen Snuggles, but Queen Snuggles is always indoors. Tamala is an indoor-outdoor cat. All right. Oh, and plus our normal 3 deer. And I had one Oriole late this spring, maybe about 3-4 weeks ago. And I was going to try rotating the camera, but I guess I can't. Or I can't see the icon too. Can't do it during a video. Darn it. Anyways, yeah, so we ended up getting an Oriole about 3 weeks ago. Showed up for about 3 days, and I haven't seen it since. I got my 14 blue jays. Our squirrel population doubled. I think we have about 14 squirrels. I thought it was 8, but I could be wrong on that. Could be up to 12 or 14 by now. And I already had the rose-breasted grosbeaks here. I got my chickadees. I got my juncos yet. They never leave, along with the blue jays. They never leave. And one pileated, but my neighbor says he might think that we have 3 pileated woodpeckers here. And I did have a yellow belly woodpecker. I think it was at one point this summer, but then I haven't seen them since. And of course, we got our robins as well. And my neighbor told me about last week sometime he ended up getting a bluebird. He was trying to attract bluebirds and he finally got one. And I also inquired with him too if he meant an indigo bunting. And he said no, a bluebird. And it's like, okay. And yes, well, we normally get here 1 or 2 indigo buntings, but I have not seen one yet. Nor have I seen a bluebird. So those are the stats here in Janet Jane's yard. You guys have a great day.